Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. So I tried traveling back in time to let past Nick know that he could have bought the sequels to Nickelodeon Kart Racers and Beach Buggy Racing, but what I got in response was a resounding Luckily, while in the past, I also signed up for the new hit game Name That Mario Kart ripoff. I really pride myself on naming games that take the basic Mario Kart formula and slap some popular characters on the box, so I should easily be able to win this.
Hello folks, I'm Chet Garberson, and welcome to Name That Mario Kart ripoff. On today's show, we have self-proclaimed Mario Kart ripoff extraordinaire, Tricky Nick. Would you like to introduce yourself, Tricky Nick?
Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. Hater of everything not Nintendo, lover of everything Nintendo. Glad to be here, Chet.
Wonderful, Nick. Do you know how this game works?
Not in the slightest.
Okay, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna ask you 3 questions about Mario Kart ripoffs. And if you correctly answer those 3 questions about Mario Kart ripoffs, then you're gonna win a cash prize.
Sounds like a plan, Chet. Let's get started.
Okay, let's take a look at the first question. What Mario Kart ripoff did you refuse to buy for your Nintendo Switch?
Oh, it's Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2. I know because I have a strong hatred for the name Nick.
You are correct! Wait, did you just say you hate the name Nick?
Yeah, it runs in the family. Anyways, do you mind if I have a really in-depth conversation about this game real quick?
Yeah, that's fine. Wait, what?
Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2. I spent half my life savings on this game, so it better be darn good. Before even getting into an actual race, I could already tell this game was actually way higher quality than the first one. The graphics are better, the roster is massive, and so many iconic Nickelodeon cartoons are represented here. They have JoJo Siwa! The developers weren't messing around with this game. They more than doubled the size of the roster, and that's not counting the dozens of pit crew characters included in the game. That's not all that's improved here, though. Just about everything is better than the first Nickelodeon Kart Racers. Even just the little things like the style and aesthetic are more pleasant. Whereas the first game was more polygonal and blocky, this game is more smooth and sleek. But you want to know what wasn't better? The controls! The controls still feel so clunky, and the drifting is pretty hard to get used to. Luckily, the courses in the game are a lot more fast-paced, featuring more boost panels along with overall faster gameplay. Compared to the dull, slow gameplay the first game had, this game is more like a sugar high, or other highs. The best part about the gameplay though is that you can share the experience with friends. That's right, not only does this game have local multiplayer, but online too. This may seem pretty standard for games nowadays, but you'd be surprised to hear what the first game's multiplayer looks like. The courses have also more dynamic and visually pleasing layouts compared to the first game. Compare any 2 courses from the first and second game, and you'll easily be able to pick out the Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 gameplay. Even the courses that returned from the first game got remasters that were far better than their original counterparts. Everything is so much more lively, and I love being immersed in the worlds of various Nickelodeon cartoons. I will say, I still don't like that the courses aren't organized by their respective cartoons. Maybe that's not a big issue, but it does bother me. I mean, it's kinda just odd to go from Bikini Bottom to the frickin' Apocalypse all in one Grand Prix. That being said, this lack of organization allows for more cartoons to be represented, which is the only good thing about the fact that the courses aren't organized by cartoons. No, I won't let it go! All that aside though, I do have to complain about the items. No, really, I do! The items are one of the most plagiarized elements of this gameplay by far. There's essentially nothing new presented in this game that wasn't in the first, and those were taken straight from Mario Kart. In all fairness though, there's not much more that can be done with items in a kart racing game. You'd have to get really creative to come up with a brand new item concept. Luckily though, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 gives racers a special attack. This presents the player with a strategic reason to pick characters and a fun way to vary gameplay. Overall, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 enhances everything about the first game. I'm glad I'm able to experience a plethora of different Nickelodeon cartoons. This game pays tribute to almost all the ones I watched as a kid. In terms of originality though, the game is lacking. I would only recommend this game for hardcore Nickelodeon fans. Otherwise, take your $40 and buy a couple of these instead.
Are you done?
I guess so. Let's move on to the next question, Chet.
Next question. When did Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled...
Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, one of the most highly praised Mario Kart ripoffs.
Actually, Racing with Ryan is a better game.
What the... As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, Crash Team Racing is often praised for being the highest quality Mario Kart ripoff, so let's see if it holds up like my legs when I'm not dehydrated, or falls flat on my face like me when I am dehydrated. This Mario Kart ripoff is based on the very popular Crash Bandicoot franchise, a quadrilogy of 3D platformers starring this critter of unclear origins. I haven't played any of the Crash Bandicoot games. Yeah, I bought Crash Team Racing instead of Crash Bandicoot platformers. I'm a bad boy. While this game is based on the basic idea of Mario Kart, it is so much different overall. The gameplay relies much more on the skill of the player rather than on luck. Sliding and jumping allow the player to gain speed, and items are replaced by power-ups, which are scattered about the tracks. Speaking of the tracks, how are they? Heck, how faithful even is the game to its origins? Well, as a person who hasn't played the original games, I would be a terrible judge of that. Instead, I think we should just get some thoughts from my favorite alligator who has played Crash Bandicoot, Demeech.
The Mario Kart series is known to be the gold standard when it comes to kart racing games. It pretty much established the formula for future kart racing games, and while a lot of games try to capitalize on the success of Mario Kart, a lot of them fall flat or just seem to be cheap imitations. However, there is one major exception. I'm of course talking about Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Released in 2019, this is a remake of the PS1 title Crash Team Racing, along with Crash Nitro Kart, which was a sequel that released a few years later. What's really cool about the game is that it's not just a remake, but adds a ton of new content, and in a way, is essentially Crash Team Racing Ultimate, meaning that it has every track from those two games, every character, and more. What I really love about Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is the gameplay. In Mario Kart, it's a lot more casual. It's a game anyone can pick up and play, and while there's nothing bad about that, not a lot of skill is really involved in a lot of the newer games. Of course, you had cases like Mario Kart Wii, where there was skill needed to unlock certain characters with time trials, missions, getting star rankings, stuff like that. But now, it's usually just get first place, unlock a character. Though in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you didn't even need to do that except for Gold Mario, where you had to beat every 200cc cup with first place. Back then, you had to work for it, but now, it's just pretty much win, then you get the characters and unlockables. But in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, skill is involved a lot more. While there are items, they don't play as big of a role, as skill is really using the power boost mechanic to its fullest potential. This game uses a drifting feature, where you press a button at the right time, and if you hit it just right 3 times in a row, you get a major boost. This is necessary to getting first place, and is a critical part of the gameplay. I really like the skill-focused gameplay here. A lot of kart racers, not just Mario Kart, focus a lot on luck, and while that's cool, I definitely do like the skill-based mechanics here. Now talking about the roster, this game has pretty much every Crash character you can think of. Also, it includes a bunch of characters that are new, such as Baby Crash and Baby Coco, and I gotta say, even though this game has 5 baby characters, you're not gonna care because it includes almost every Crash character. It includes Mega Mix from Crash the Huge Adventure on the Game Boy Advance, which is essentially like Mario Kart having Tatanga. Seeing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's roster, it really isn't impressive, but knowing what Mario Kart Tour is doing, I definitely see a future. But one of the best things about Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is just how much there is to do. Not only are you getting a bunch of tracks, but you're also getting an adventure mode, which is essentially the story mode of the game, which really hasn't been in a Mario Kart game, unless you count Mario Kart DS's mission mode. There is a story to tie everything together, and there's also a hub world which you can go through, where you complete certain missions, such as getting purple crystals, getting certain CTR tokens, stuff like that. It's very challenging, but is really fun. So overall, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled isn't just a better game than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but is a gold standard for kart racers as of now. I wonder what the future holds for Mario Kart, and before this game, I often thought, how could it get better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? Well, after seeing what Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled did, they definitely could go this route for Mario Kart 9 and essentially make Mario Kart Ultimate, with an adventure mode, every character, most tracks, and stuff like that. So overall, if you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. It's on the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, so any of those systems it's going to play great on. Plays great on the Switch, looks great. Definitely pick it up if you can, because it's the best kart racing game out there.
Thanks for the insight, Demeech, but I think it's time to get back to the show.
Well, since I've taken over the game show and I'm definitely not holding Chet Garbison for ransom, I thought we would talk about one more Mario Kart ripoff before the police get here, before the show ends.
Beach Buggy Racing is one of my favorite racing games due to its janky, chaotic fun, so when I heard there was a sequel, I just had to try it out. Unfortunately, my ransom money, cash prize from the game show, hasn't shown up yet, so I had to skimp out and get the mobile version of this game. Graphically, Beach Buggy Racing 2 is almost identical to Beach Buggy Racing 1, despite coming out 4 years after the first game. I know many people would likely have an issue with this, but my nostalgia-blinded self doesn't even care. To my delight, the game brought back the old cast of characters, along with some new characters too. I really like all these new characters too, my personal favorite being Beatbot. Who doesn't love a robot that automatically brutalizes anything it sees? All 13 of these racers also get special abilities, just like in the first game. These abilities are great ways to keep the simple gameplay fresh with chaos and destruction. Unfortunately, this goes a little too far in this game. There are 44 power-ups in this game, which is way too confusing. I can't handle 44 of anything. It's pretty bold of the developers to assume casual players will be able to get this down. This is where the adventure mode comes to save the day. The adventure mode starts the player off with a limited amount of characters, carts, and power-ups, allowing us to unlock and learn new things at a steady rate. So that makes the large number of carts and items a lot more manageable, and it's much easier to get used to them. Along with literally everything else in this game, there are also more courses than in the original. These courses take us to even more varied locales than the first game. There are even some references to Mario Kart, like with Raytona Stadium, a Wario Stadium-esque track. With all that said though, I sadly didn't get a chance to play this game with friends. That was one of the defining reasons I loved the franchise to start with, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Overall, Beach Buggy Racing 2 did everything by the book, cementing itself as a really solid racing franchise. I would even go as far to say it didn't lose any of its charm, despite me playing the game on mobile. All the new additions also make this sequel feel so much grander, and I'd love to give it a try with my friends sometime soon. But for now, I've got a hostage situation to deal with.
Let us in. This is your last chance.
Now come on, wait guys.
Freeze! You have the right to remain silent.
Wait. Ah!